Hello.
Hello, Jan Fredrik. Good to see you again.
You too.
So first of all, what I would like to say is thank you very much that you have accepted my invitation and you will be a speaker in our second international conference for information and energy medicine in Poznań. So thanks a lot. We will meet very soon, June 25 in Poland, and I'm very looking forward, really, and very happy to make it finally possible. What I would like to do in Polish, and it will be the first and last thing in Polish, is to just introduce you to Polish audience, because it will be, I think, for them more understood, let me say it in this way, and faster as well, I think.
Sure, go ahead.
So, witajcie, nazywam się Dobrosława Kwiatkowska i dzisiaj jako prezes Polskiego Towarzystwa Medycyny Informacyjnej i Energetycznej będę rozmawiać z Janem Fredrykiem Poleszyńskim, który będzie jednym z naszych gości, prelegentów drugiej Międzynarodowej Konferencji Medycyny Informacyjnej i Energetycznej w Polsce, którą organizujemy już 25 czerwca, teraz 2022 roku. Jan Fredryk jest dyrektorem i terapeutą w klinice medycyny integralnej w Oslo, UNOVITA. Przede wszystkim jego taki punkt zainteresowania i też ta przestrzeń, na której się jego działania w klinice koncentrują, to medycyna integralna z naciskiem na terapię częstotliwościami, czyli mikroprądy o szerokim spektrum częstotliwości, ale też wykorzystanie elektromagnetyzmu oraz na przykład terapię nasyconym wodorem w różnej postaci, czyli wszystkie takie terapie i takie podejścia i takie metody, które w sposób naturalny zachęcają cały organizm do regeneracji, do autoregulacji. I last but not least, Jan Fredryk Poleszyński jest też autorem znanego już w tej chwili na całym świecie programu do terapii częstotliwościami Deep Cycle, czyli po polsku złoty cykl, znany też przez użytkowników Healy jako po prostu szary cykl, który jest taką grupą programów częstotliwościowych do kompleksowego wsparcia całego organizmu. So, I think I made it.
Good, great.
Dear Jan, actually, a lot of people in Poland, as I said it now in Polish, use your Deep Cycle program, and they do it on daily basis, not only in Poland, all over the world, because of Healy, the little portable device, but not a lot of people actually are aware who is the creator of this program. Tell me, what is the idea behind it? Before we will start to talk about frequency therapy and how it started in your case, let me ask you first about the Deep Cycle. What is the idea behind this wonderful, amazing programs which support people on many levels?
Yeah, well, basic idea with there's a lot of implications in the name. First of all, we're talking about cycles. That's because, as you said, I'm working holistically with people, and we see that you need to address all levels of a person to find a solution to a possible problem, or let's say to improve their function so they feel well. And to do this, you need to have some system to treat different aspects and different parts of the body and mind. And as you probably know, there is no, according to me and many others, there is no really border between the body and the mind, emotions, the electromagnetic or the energetic body. It's all influencing each other. And if you're working on one level, you will influence the other levels. But the intention behind the deep cycle came from working with the professional device, the Timewaver frequency. And I quickly understood that all these practitioners around the world who purchased the Timewaver frequency, they didn't know how to use it. I thought, you know, well, we have a good system now. We know how to treat people. We know how to treat in different conditions. So I wanted to make it more simple for the practitioners so they could run the deep cycle on their machines, the Timewaver machines originally. And then, of course, came the Timewaver Home, which was a home device, larger than Healy and doesn't use a mobile. The deep cycle programs were ported. So the basic idea was to create an automatic program that could be also semi-automatic for the practitioners if they want to stop and start or remove some frequencies. That would basically take care of, let's say, 90% of all the needs of frequency programs. And also, there was, from the start and quite early, Nuno Nina also made his gold cycle, which were made approximately at the same time as the first version of deep cycle. We now have the second version called deep cycle harmonics. And I wanted programs who was going deeper than the gold cycle. So do more to be able to go deeper into the deeper levels of the body and mind. So this was also intention about the deep cycle. And a small word about the cycles. You know that everything goes in cycles. So the flowers, it grows from a seed, and you see a small, I don't remember the English name, and then, then of course it grows and populates, and it will make leaves and flowers, and then it will reproduce. And everything around us is like this. The whole universe is like this. The galaxies, they move in cycles. Even the universe itself, it's breathing and it's expanding as of now. And our cycles follow the moon to some extent, and our cycles are even at the day. So you have cycles in the morning where you produce more hormones, testosterone, cortisol, and so on. And this changes during the day. So it's important to try to be in phase, to try to follow the natural cycles to get the best result. So therefore, there is programs for more or less all natural cycles in the human body within the deep cycle. I think that was maybe the shortest possible answer.
Yes, but I love it very much, especially that you said something about this most important connection. I mean, the cycles in general, because nowadays when there is so many ideas about transhumanism, you know, people tend to forget that we are also a part of the nature. So we are also living each day in a cycle. And when we are out of balance, first of all, we have to look where we actually lost our cycle, our ability to be in the cycle. So I appreciate your answer very much. Yes, please.
Yeah, and one thing which is a correlation here, if you think about the rhythms and cycles, that is another word for frequency.
Yes, sure, of course.
So and frequency, we show a frequency with the intensity, highs and lows, like a wave. and the cycles are also like frequencies, and they also have the highs and lows. And if you know somebody whose life is like this, they are probably dead. So the life is going up and down, and we are at different places, both emotionally and physically. So frequencies and cycles are very closely connected. And and something I will talk about in Poznan is a little bit more about cycles of nature, and how we are influenced by them, and how we better can, let's say, be in sync with them. Because as you say, we cannot jump out of the natural rhythms. Yes. when there is rain and there's low pressure, the ionization, the electric particles of the air, they change polarity. And this is one of the reasons many people can feel it. I feel it. If I wake up in the morning after a rainy day, I normally didn't sleep this well, and I feel different. So this is just one of the natural cycles in the nature. Okay.
I think it's good that you mention what you will be talking in our conference, because people are very interested in topics usually. Yes. Do you plan also to say something about electromagnetism?
Yes, I feel I always have to do it, and of course, because for me it's something I said many times, and it's very clear. But for most people, it's not very clear. They don't know what is electromagnetism, and if you're going to understand, let's say, the electric part of your life, then you need to understand what is electromagnetism also. And I think many people will have a big aha experience with this.
Yes, I will be grateful when you will also say more, because it's very important, especially in a conference like our. Yes, that people just have this aha moment and realize what is actually behind this phenomena, energy medicine. And we have to start from the electromagnetism, of course.
Yeah.
Sure. And when we are by electromagnetism, I was always curious. And each time when I'm talking with someone interested, I'm very curious about the background, how the story has started, and how it was in your case, how this fascination with frequency therapy, with electromagnetism, started actually in your life.
Yeah, sure, I'll tell you. Well, it's let's say I like to correct the thing first. It's let me say that my fascination of electromagnetism is not great. Because now it's kind of established for me what it means. Yeah. So the fascination was more the understanding of a part of nature, how nature works, how is our physical life, how is our physical body. So when I was a young boy, I was 12 years old, and I remember quite well, I was looking around myself, and I thought, where are we coming from? Why are we here? What is the universe, and where are we going? And nobody told me. Nobody could tell me. Somebody had some religious word about it. Somebody had, but in physics, in regular physics, and in school, they couldn't explain me anything about it. So this resulted in a sort of strange logic in my head. It was that nobody knows the important things. they know about everything, but they don't know anything. They don't know why we're here. They don't know where we're going. They don't know what's the universe. They don't know what's the body. They don't then know anything. So, and then my father, I remember he said, you should be a businessman, get yourself an education, and you should get yourself a house and a car and a job and a wife and all these things. And it didn't make any sense to me, because why am I going to do a lot of things without knowing anything? I mean, what's life if you don't know why you're here or what you're doing and where you're going and where you're coming from? So it didn't make sense. And this resulted in a long frequency period between working with different things, trying different things. So I never kind of, let's say at age of 16, I remember I had 1 year, I read 100 books about alternative thinking, about theosophy, about magic, about spiritualism, about parapsychology, everything, because I was looking for some answers. Somebody needs to know about these things. Somebody must be able to tell me. And I got some ideas, and then a little bit shortening of the story, because it's a little bit long. After many, many years of kind of not getting any answers that I wanted, and just had to kind of believe what I felt. My own logic was my best logic, I found. Then I discovered that everything we do is electric. Everything in our physical life is electric. Everything is electromagnetic in the physical life. As I always say, there can be other things. And of course, if we talk about the electromagnetism, the nature of electric currents and waves, at some point you will cross over to quantum mechanics and things. So they are related. So it's not like that. But the big let's say, and that's when I got quite enthusiastic, when I understood that there is nothing going on in your physical body that is not electromagnetic. And what does that mean? That means when your cell is producing energy, it's producing electric energy also. And when your brain is sending a signal to your body, it's electric. And this we know from when you go to the hospital. They don't think about it, but they do ECG, so they measure the electric waves on the brain, and EKG measure the electric signal from the heart. And then you can do an X-ray, you're measuring the absorption of the electric waves from the X-ray in the tissue, and so on. So actually, when you go to the hospital, they investigate you on an electric level. And when they have done it, they forget that it's electric, and they start with putting some pills in there or doing some strange things. Because normally, if you have an electric system and there is something not working well, you would call the electric guy to change the wire or some of it. but in this case, they don't. So this was the big thing for me. So I understood, okay, since everything is in the body, all physical reactions in the body are electric and give off electric waves, and they give off electric currents, which are two sides of the same thing, electromagnetic. If I understood how to use it, maybe I could use it to help people and to use it in medicine. So it was the first important step to understand what is needed for the body to be healthy. How can we be healthy here now? Yes, we maybe have I say maybe because I don't remember, I've been dead, but maybe we have a spiritual part of us, and there are parts of us that are not physical, for sure. But this life is electromagnetic. That's why you see me. So light is electromagnetic wave. So you see me because we're electromagnetic. So this was the reason for me being enthusiastic about it. You want me to tell you my first experience with the frequency devices?
Please do.
Yeah. So this was after many years. I told you I was kind of going from one place to another. The only thing that was in common, that was some people asked me, can you help me? And I said, yes. And this resulted in working with innovation and IT development for 20 years. And at the end of it, I thought, you know, this company I'm working in, because we had a small company, it was my company, we sold it to a big company, and they were only interested in producing money. Mm-hmm. And for me, you know, that was no motivation. You know, what's the point? I mean, it's good to have some money, but it's not the task of life. It's not the target of anything. I want to help some people. And I had seen a lot of, you know, my mother had the cancer, my father, my oldest brother. I've seen a lot of people who didn't get help anywhere. So I started experimenting with these devices, and I came across a device called Core Energetics. It had the informational part, a little bit like Timewaver Med or Pro now, and it had the frequency part, a little bit like Timewaver Frequency. And I started using these frequencies and experimenting it, and I had some interesting results. And then I was in the conference in Holland, and I met a lot of other practitioners who also had the same system. And I was lucky enough to, of some reason, be connected with a lot of interesting people around the world. It was from Russia, it was from Germany, it was from the United States, it was from Nuno from Portugal. We are now old friends since 2008. And everybody told me kind of the same story, that the way I was thinking was correct. The way we could better understand the health of the cells and the organs was on electric level, because if there is a problem, you will see it electrically. I will explain this in the seminar. So I found out that Nuno was also working with it, and we exchanged information, and he told me how he was doing it, and we tried different ways. And then one day I was at home. I had quit the IT company, and I was only studying these things, and I had started selling some supplements, because I found out that there were some supplements who had much better absorption than others, and that was type of liposomes, professional liposomes. And it was ringing on my doorbell, and it was this guy, a German engineer, by the way, who just asked, oh, I would like to buy some supplements from you. And I said, well, that's fine, but you know, I don't have it. I'm sold out. But I have this new device. Do you want to try it? And he said, yeah, sure, I can try it. And he came in and he said, well, you see, I have some skin issues and I have some other issues. And I started treating him and with frequency, microcurrent. And after some time, he said, you know, yeah, I have some more problems. I said, what more problems? Oh, I have a cancer. Oh, you have a cancer in the blood. Yeah, oh, in the blood. Okay. And at the same time, because I was doing this all day, I was chatting with Nuno and I was discussing with him, and I said, let's see if we can find some frequencies for this guy. And when we were working on this, it was a bit strange, because he said, oh, I can feel it in my liver. But I didn't hit a run button. I didn't start it yet. I just prepared it. So that's interesting, because his body, his mind, his consciousness knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So we all have it. And he was a German engineer, very strict guy, didn't believe in anything, but he believed what he felt in his body. So he felt there was something itching in his body. And I said, well, that's interesting. Okay. And I pressed the button and said, oh, I can feel it. And this time it was actually with the frequency. And after this, he said, oh, this was a very strange experience. And kind of something happened in my body and I feel okay. And I forgot about him. And it was like 1 week later, again, he was ringing at my door. And he said, I need to talk to you. And I said, why? No, I've been to the hospital because they had mixed up some blood tests from many patients. So they had to take the blood test again. Then they took my blood test again. And the next day they called me and said, sorry, we did another mistake because your blood test cannot be yours. So they took it again. And then they said, well, we don't understand anything, but we don't find the cancer. So this was my first real experience with the treatment of anybody. was this guy who came back and said after one treatment, they didn't find the cancer. I don't know what happened later or what, where he was in the cycle.
Because it's not always like that, yes. So it was absolutely amazing, yeah. Yeah,
I was kind of impressed. So I knew, okay, we're onto something interesting that can do things, and if you do it correctly, you can make a large impact, make a large influence on the person's health. And then some years went by, and at some point I got a brochure from Timewaver Medical or Timewaver in the post. So did Nuno, and I talked to him and I said, well, you know, I like this device, looks nice, has a nicer feature, has these quantum sensors, it's interesting. The only thing they don't have the frequency. Yeah. And then the short, long story was that we said, and I told this to Timewaver that I'm working with Nuno, he's in Portugal, and he is doing very well with the frequency. I'm working with the frequency, and I think there is a possibility to work together. And then I didn't hear anything, and I was going to talk to Nuno and say, you know, what's going on? Did you hear from Timewaver? And they said, well, Marcus is here. So it was already started. And then there was this, this kicked off the development of frequency in Timewaver, and which resulted in Timewaver frequency. I was beta testing, I remember 1 year, 300 hours. And we started then, in 2010, I started formally to treat people in the clinic. And so that's 12 years ago. I had a quite big clinic in Oslo. And we started to see very interesting results. So after some years experience of this, I wanted to share my knowledge and how to use it with you guys. And that's why the Deep Cycle came, and it was launched in 2015. And the rest of the story, you know, it was then for home, and later it came on Healy. And now we have the new version on Healy too.
Yes, I love this story very much, because in such details, I didn't know actually how it was. Especially, I mean, here the story first, your story, which obviously I didn't know, and then the story, how was it possible that frequency, Timewaver frequency, came to the Timewaver, let's say, family. But now I know it, I'm happy because of that, and I think our audience and people which are using Healy, first of all, will appreciate that they know it as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because, as I told you before, 2015, it's the year when I first experienced Timewaver and you on the stage. And yeah, it's 7 years ago. I'm using all Timewaver devices now, but first I started with Timewaver Med. And after a very short time, actually, I felt that, yes, it would be great to support people also with frequencies. So since 2017, I'm supporting people also, I have been supporting people also with microcurrent therapy, and each week, and actually, I can say also that there was, on the beginning, no day without your deep cycle. So I could experience each day how huge impact it has on people's health, on people's well-being in general. And even I had just two favorite programs, like Kidney Woman, Kidney Man, maybe because there are programs which I could really feel immediately that something changed, first, and second, because these two I very often used at the early beginning after first treatments, the first and second and third. I know that you probably don't have any favorite program, but maybe you just have your number one among these all deep cycle programs.
Yeah, well, as you say, the kidney programs are very important, and if I had to choose one favorite, I would choose one of the kidney programs too, or the kidney programs for men or women. And that will explain more about this, I think. You know, sometimes it just goes by the flow. So yeah. I'm talking about things I didn't plan, or I forget about things I planned. But at least I can mention it now, and that is to be healthy, you need to have a charge of the body. Mm-hmm. That means that all your cells are comparable to batteries. So they have there's power in the cell. And if this power is too low, just like your mobile phone, it will not call anywhere, it cannot send a signal, and it will not work properly. So to be sure that you have the necessary voltage, the necessary power for the cells, the best thing you can do is to ensure that the detoxification process is working properly. And that means the first one is the one who takes the largest part, and that's the kidneys. Because you drink a lot of water, and the body is, you know, mostly water. Most of the toxins, they move out through the kidneys. And then you have the liver, digestive system, and the lungs and the skin. So therefore, starting with the kidneys makes sense for most people. Another thing is that we are subjected to a lot of stress, and modern society is full of stress. And when you are stressed or have anxiety, it will influence your kidneys because, and I will explain this in the seminar, that all emotions you have, they are not out there somewhere. They are in here. They are in your body. They are stored in your body, and guess what? They are stored as electric patterns. So to handle stress, you need good kidneys. And if your kidneys are not good, you don't detoxify and you don't handle stress very well, and you adrenals on top of the kidneys have problems of producing enough of the right hormones to get you up in the morning. So then you feel weak. So therefore, it's a very good idea to make sure that the kidneys work well, and then you can move on to other programs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm very sure that people will absolutely enjoy what you shared right now, because on one hand, you know, there is a lot of people using Healy, but on the other hand, there is still a huge need just to support them step by step how they should do it and what is the proper way and what is not. So I think it's a great impact and will be a huge inspiration for all Healy users and not only. I'm looking very, very forward to see you in Poznań, and I hope the weather will be as nice as today we have.
Yeah, so we can be outside.
Sun is shining, yes. We will be actually inside because the conference will last all day long, but we have huge windows and it's in the middle of the city, so I'm sure we will have a support from...
Yeah. One more thing I will talk about we will talk about some of the basics, and one thing which is a little bit important to understand is that many people, they are looking for a magic pill. So everybody just wants a very simple answer, and you run this program and everything is solved and you have no problems. And in reality, this happens 1 out of 10,000 times. The other 9,999 times, you need to look at the whole picture to get to, so you don't do one thing to promote. Let's say, let's take the kidneys. You run the kidney oil, but you don't drink water. So how are the kidneys going to work if you don't drink water? Or you run the kidney oil and then you run out of the door and stress all day. So you're probably going to do kidney oil forever. Maybe you can do pure calm to help you calm down, to find a better balance. So I will talk about, I have a list of items, a list of things that you need to address to be healthy. And that's the part of the integrated medicine. And that's kind of, let's say, the electromagnetism and the understanding the body from an electromagnetic perspective is my preferred way. But the really important thing is to look at the whole and to be aware what is stealing the power and balance out of your body. And these things I will go through, not in detail, because then it's another lecture, but I will mention them so people have an idea of what it means. What does it mean to take care of the whole? Because this is what you ultimately need to do. And I'm also normally not talking very much specifically about devices, because devices are tools for me.
Of course.
So, but of course, Healy is a good tool, and it can run good programs like Deep Cycle. So it's a good tool, but there are other tools, and there that will influence your electromagnetic body, like going outside in the sun. It's a very good idea.
Yes, it's an excellent idea, and I'm sure that Jerry Pollack, Professor Pollack, will be talking about it as well, because he actually, as I remember, he mentions this each time he's talking about easy water, the fourth phase of water, that the sun is producing this fourth state of water in our body and in all actually living organism, and it's incredibly important for our health. But what I absolutely like in that what you said before is just to make people understand that it's not enough just to push the button on any device at all to achieve balance. You know, many times people are calling me to my office and asking, oh, you know, I've heard you have a device which is doing this and that. And they ask, how long time do you need to make me be healthy? So we have to just explain people step by step that it's not this way we are going. So I appreciate this holistic perspective of yours, because it's also my perspective, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
So, dear Jan Fredrik, thank you very much for this meeting, for this interview. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you too.
I'm happy that we meet soon in Poznan, and we'll just be able also to share with everyone, because we expect around 300 people in our conference. So I think there will be also space to share with each other.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you too. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Ciao.